If you've ever been asked the question, where do you want to be when you grow up? Can you please raise your hand? Okay. If you have to guess how old you were when you were first asked that question, can you please raise the figures up? Could be 5. Okay, I can see 3. I can see 5. I can see 7. Thank you very much. If you were asked this question, and this question has ever caused you any form of anxiety, like any anxiety at all, what do you want to be when you grow up? Has it ever caused you any anxiety? Can you please raise your hands? I can see a few of us. Any anxiety could be similar questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years? Quite a number of people in the house. Thank you very much. So I find it really awkward when I'm being asked this question because I feel some people already have this expectation of you as to what you should be and what you shouldn't be. It's not that I don't have any interest or didn't have any interest. It's just that as you grow older and as you, as a young person, it's either you have one interest or you have several interests, right? I didn't want to be classified or told what my strengths are. Just like my dad, he wanted me to study medicine. So because his thought was that I loved science, the subjects, even the subjects that are particular to me studying medicine. But you know what we kids usually do, right? When we want something so badly, I got to my elder sibling and I told him the reasons why I don't want to study medicine, but architecture. When it was time for me to fill my form that would get me into the university, my elder sibling actually helped me to convince my dad as to the reasons why I should, although those reasons were kind of wobbly. But here I am today, an architect. For some of us, maybe our parents actually made this decision for us. Maybe our guidance or even our mentors made this decision for us. But I really do not have a problem with that. The problem that I have is when I speak to students of architecture, graduates of architecture, or even people outside this discipline, I realize that there's always this blame shifting. I hear them say things like, you know, I really didn't want to study this course. This person actually encouraged me to study this course. That person actually encouraged me to study this course. I have an advice for you today. I have an advice for you today. Start owning your decision. You know why? Because I believe at some point, you acknowledge the fact that you actually wanted to study this course. You thought maybe, oh, I'll give it a try. And you know what? I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. And also maybe another reason why I'm saying this is because as you get older and when you get into the marketplace, for some of us who are graduates and some of us who are still students of architecture, as you get into the marketplace, you'll be attached to so many responsibilities. And if you don't own your decision, it will be something else. While at the university, this awkward question never stopped. So I had my friends and even some of my classmates would ask me, so what do you want to do when you graduate from school? Are you going to study core architecture? They start to mention like courses or career path that they feel or they think you best fit in. Like, do you want to become an industrial designer, interior designer, or an academic? Unfortunately for me, I didn't have any answer to give to them, and I didn't have any standby decision. And I knew that if I didn't, I would be trapped in their own choices for me. 2017 or 2018 thereabouts, we had this long university strike, which lasted for a few months. So I saw this as an opportunity to explore the various paths in architecture. I got a contact of a real estate developer, and I also worked at a 3D visualization studio. I did research about various career paths, and at this point, I didn't have any particular interest. I just wanted to explore. Fast forward to about a few months before I graduated from school, I started to put my portfolio together. I started to put my portfolio together, and I applied to about 5 universities. 2 out of 5 were called me for an interview, and then I got employed into one of the architectural firms. You know, like every young architect, I was very excited, I was zealous, and ready to showcase my skills. But you know something? I was disappointed. I was given this black book, and in this black book, you get to feel like anything. I mean, your ideas, your task for the day or your task for the week. And to me, it was kind of different, because back then in school, what you get to do is you just scribble right at your desk on A3 paper, on A4 paper, and that was it. It's been an incredible journey. So I have incredible colleagues and bosses, individuals of at a level of creativity that I can't explain. And I've been entrusted to so many projects because of my few years of experience, and also I've learned a lot from them. This is Uche Okoli. Uche is a visualizer. He is a young architect, and he has created an avenue for perception and realism. Uche has broken boundaries. He has set boundaries as well. He is the principal partner of Clegg Designs, and Uche has set boundaries and is focused on really putting the country in the map of the world in regards to 3D visualization, 3D augmentation. Okay, so perhaps your story is totally different from mine. You want to explore, you have explored, and you've decided that it's going to be, what I want to study is co-architecture. I want to be streamlined in regards to my career path. I want to become a specialist. That's fine. Or perhaps you have various lines of interests that you want to pursue. I absolutely don't have any problem with that. This is Architect Adenuga. Architect Adenuga is also a 3D visualizer. He's passionate about, teaching creatives in a clear and explicit way when it comes to 3D visualization and how you approach visualization. Both of them are specialists, and they have decided that they are architects, and they have decided that they were going to become specialists in their own line of interest. This is Shola. Perhaps you love your culture, you love historical buildings, you love history, you love things that, that has to do with monuments. Shola is a partner or part of Legacy 1995, an environmental interest group, which have created like an avenue for various people in our community. And the Legacy 1995 have also given us an avenue to know much more about our history. I'm very sure we heard about what happened right in the heart of Lagos at Tinubu Square, where the monumental building called Ilojoba, Olaya House, was demolished. I believe that if we had a number of people who were in this line, we would have more, this situation wouldn't have happened, because they would have created an awareness as to how to preserve buildings and giving the country ways in which our history can be known globally and in the world. This is architect Uduma. Architect Uduma is a landscape architect and an academic. Perhaps you love the outdoor spaces, you love to create recreational spaces, you love public spaces. Architect Uduma is a renowned landscape architect. She's known worldwide and she's part of the people who beautified Lagos during the Fasholas administration. We also know about, Arabella Architect. They've been around for a while and they have done tremendously well and have set the bar in regards to landscape architecture. Perhaps you're a multi-potentialite. You have many lines of interests with a creative pursuit. This is architect Tosi Oshinowo. She's an architect, as we all know. She's an entrepreneur, a furniture designer. She's also an amateur photographer, and she has done tremendously well in her career. We have our hosts, architect Hassan. Perhaps he's also an entrepreneur. He has many lines of businesses and also a 3D visualizer. Perhaps your story is this. You want to explore. You don't really have anything wrong with it. The problem that I have is the problem with it. As long as you can actually do all these things simultaneously. So I have a list of things that I think or I believe can actually help you when it comes to you being decisive in regards to your career path. Number one, because I realize that a lot of people are at a crossroad, they're confused, they're perplexed as to what to do. So I have a list of things that I would want you to know. Number one, become a self-expert. It is very important to understand yourself. Someone said that what makes you different or what makes you weird, that is your power. What might seem really weird to others can actually be your superpower. So instead of hiding your weirdness, I believe that you should harness its power. What your unique strengths are can actually make you, or can be your what's the word again? Can make you and can be your great power. Number two, be willing to be receptive. Be willing to learn and unlearn some of the things that you feel should be a certain way. Be willing to consider new ideas and new suggestions from people. When I was working at these places, at these companies, if I had said to myself that I wouldn't adjust to all these things that I'm being told to do, I think I would have created a problem of settling in. So be adaptable, be flexible, be willing to learn a lot of things. Absorb as much as you can like a sponge. And I assure you that you would do really great in your career. Life is in stages, remember. I know this sounds cliche. A lot of people, where you are today is not where you want to be. So embrace the process. Embrace the process, because life, I can tell you that life and this journey to become great, it's not an easy journey. So embrace the process. Work as hard as you can. Be consistent and no shortcuts. And I believe that your journey to becoming who you want to be and your line of interest, you would be outstanding in that. So for my final words for you is, be fearless and follow your curiosity in those many rabbit holes. Embrace your line of interest after you have explored. Stop procrastination and become decisive as to what you want to be and what line of interest you want to take. To the multi-potentialites and to the specialists, you both are doing a really great job, and the world needs us all. Thank you.